Hello to all my good friends. Welcome back to The Man Collects. Today, you see, I have been joined by four, actually five, ones in pieces, distinguished guests on the channel. We're going to be doing another figure build and review this time. So we're combining the Man reviews and the Man builds. We've got the Blackest Night wave here from DC Multiverse. Picked these up half price the other day on clearance at Walmart. Going to take them out of the packaging, take a look at the four figures, and then we'll assemble and take a look at the Build-A-Figure, which is Atrocitus. I'm still not sure how to pronounce his name. Hopefully I'm getting that right. But we're going to take these things out, have a look at them. I will be assisted today by my lovely assistant, Mr. Zero Sugar Cherry Pepsi. Highly recommend these things. Pepsi, if you'd like to contact the Man Collects about possible endorsements, I am open to that, by the way. But thanks for joining me, guys. Let's get these things open. Let's take a look at them, and then let's build us a figure. Okay, everybody, you are looking at the man's hands. And you can probably see some figures laying around here, and the top of a computer monitor over there that I use to work on it from home. But the reason the camera is at this angle, we are going to look at some figures, and you need to be able to see these things table level and not have to look at me. And I'm just trying to move my hands in different ways to keep you entertained because whatever reason, my Lego build video and my Bane review video, they've gotten a good amount of views. I am very appreciative of everyone who took time to watch those, but they don't get near as many views as my toy hunts do. And I enjoy doing these little review videos, so like I said, that's fine. Y'all want to watch the toy videos, that can be the meat and potatoes of the Man Collects. And these little things here I can do for my own enjoyment. But we're going to look at these four figures. I have not assembled Atrocitus yet. I'm going to do that for the grand finale. But we're going to look at these in order of how I like them from least to my favorite. I have to say, even though this is a Green Lantern storyline pretty much, the figure I like the least is Green Lantern. The only reason being, and I'm going to have to probably turn him sideways here to get him in. Let me see. There we go. See if I can get it to zoom in. Look at the face sculpt. The only problem I have with this, look at him. He's smiling. Why would he be smiling? This is a terrible storyline of him fighting undead, superpowered creatures, it looks like. But he looks very happy. You know, I don't know. The face to me could have had a little more detail to it, but like I said, otherwise it's a cool figure. The way they textured his suit here, I don't know if you can really tell, but I mean, you got texture here on the shoulders and everything. It's really good way they done the suit. And then the power ring, and I know being this small, they can't give a lot of detail, and you can't hardly tell from, see how close I can get it before it gets too fuzzy. Yeah, it's not going to zoom in that good. Let's back them up a little bit. But I wish the ring was a little more detailed. And there's a few little paint mishaps around that. But all in all, I mean, to say it's a terrible figure, nah, it's not. It's not that bad. It's the first one we're going to look at here. But as far as range of motion and all the joints and everything, you know, they got the double jointed elbows, so you can move them up pretty good. His head, you know, he looks, I mean, you can about do a, you know, Exorcist 360 there if you want to. You got a little bit of push down, and he looks forward there. Doesn't really look up all that much. Both arms, elbow joints, you know, you got double jointed elbows there, so it folds up well. The wrist, you can turn his hands, you know, if you want the ring to look like that, or, you know, you want him to look cool, like he's giving the fist pump there with the ring up. Ever how you want to fix that. His legs, he'll almost do a full split. So if I was doing that, I definitely wouldn't be smiling. As far as his knees go, you got double jointed knees too, so they wrap around good. So, I mean, a very highly posable figure. And he is a flyer, so if you have one of the little bases that would hold him up, you can do all kinds of cool things with him flying. But feet's the same thing there. You got fully articulating feet there at the ankle joint, and then the toe tip there will move. Same thing on both feet. No rotation in the legs. You can't turn them. As far as his torso, you can pull it back a good amount there without seeing any kind of gap in the plastics here. And around his crotch there a little bit, you pull him back too much, it starts to gap a little bit there. But again, it's a toy. It's going to do that. If it does that in real life, then we'd have a problem. One thing I forgot, his arm, his wingspan there. I mean, he's got a good range of motion with his arm. That's about as far as they're going to go. And really, for McFarlane's, I got to say, out of the box. Oops, I just kicked the camera. Sorry about that. As far as out of the box, I mean, all of his joints are pretty loose. I mean, I don't feel like I'm going to break anything. The only thing that feels a little iffy, where I spun his head around all the way, is probably supposed to do that. I have to reapply that there a little bit. I think I got that a little bit loose. But now that I've got his legs and everything all jacked up, let's see how. Oh, look at that! Stood right up. I got to get one of those 360 little things that you put them on, and other than using my hand to do it. But anyways, that is Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. Honestly, getting it out of the box and looking at it here, I like it a whole lot better than I did. But in my opinion, the other figures in this line are a lot more detailed, and they're just cooler. But as far as accessories that he came with, you have this awesome sword that he came with. I'm sure he forges that with the power ring, but kind of reminds me of something for my old school gamers out there, Final Fantasy. It's like something you would see in that. But you got the sword, and then you've got the Green Lantern. Now, I know Green Lantern's character. I've read in Justice League. I think these are the Lantern batteries. I know that's what he has to hold it in front of to charge the power ring, but I'm very sorry I'm not up to date in my nerd culture as I should be on the Green Lantern and all of his little toys and accessories. Of course, they all four, I'm just going to show this once, they all four come with the same style base, the regular DC Multiverse base. As far as that goes, and then because I'm a trading card nerd, I'm going to show the card if I can get the glare off of it. Pretty cool art there on the card. And then you got your little details there on the back of it for the data file. But that's the first figure. Second one we're going to look at is the one I like the next mostest, or however you want to say it, and that is Deathstorm. Look at this guy. He's a little taller than Kyle Rayner, so I have to back him up a little bit to look at some finer details on him here. But Deathstorm, as far as range of motion, this one too, out of the box, I mean, all the joints are good and loose. His knees are still a little stiff. I might have to soak them a little bit. And one gentleman gave me tips, in the comments there, and as I've done with these before, especially NECA figures, is soaking them in hot water. But, soak these things in hot water a little bit, and these joints usually loosen up. I don't like to bend them too much when they're this stiff because I am afraid of breaking them before I get them soft. And that's just something on these modern figures, all the articulation that you got to put up with sometimes. I mean, they get paint in the joints or dust or something in them there, and then they get sealed up or painted, and it kind of clogs the joint up a little bit. But he's got the double jointed knees. Once he gets limbered up, he'll be able to bend the same way the Green Lantern figure did. Same articulation in the feet. His ankles moving really good there, and he's got the toe articulation for help opposability. Again, no rotation in the legs, same thing as a Green Lantern. And he's got about the same, actually he's got less range of motion in his torso than Green Lantern did. But still moves well. Even though he's got these, shoulder pads on, his arms still move up a pretty good amount, and they move easily. He's got good articulation in the elbows there, and his wrists, both turn to move up there. So the thing that is the best about this figure, and if I can get him up here close, I'm going to bend the lower knee joint there, but look at the face. I am a huge fan of Ghost Rider in the Marvel Universe. I know that's nothing associated with DC, but, the flaming skull there, and the details on the flames. The face sculpt on this figure is awesome. And again, it's reminiscent of Ghost Rider. But as far as turning his head, he can't do the Exorcist turn like Green Lantern did, but his head does turn fairly good. And you got a little bit of maneuverability. Do I look cool? Yes, I do. And then there's the back of him. It's just plain black. There's detail back there. It's very textured, but this is a cool figure. I like this. Makes me want to learn more about this character. And I also know Necrum, the mega fig that's out. I think he is tied into this storyline as well, the Blackest Night. So now that I've got these, I've got an excuse to buy him. Sorry, guys. I love the multiverse mega figs. And he comes with the Silver Lantern. And let's take a look at his card. And there's his card. Very cool card. Look at that. And you probably hear my cats hissing and playing because they're running around right at my feet. Overlook them. They come close enough to the camera, I'll let them do a cameo. There's your trading card for Deathstorm. Let's put him up here, and then we'll go to the next. Okay, as far as my ranking system here of starting with least and then going to my favorite, this one, if he wasn't Batman, he would have ranked below Deathstorm. This is one of the most least impressive Batman figures, but it's still Batman, so that means it's still cool. But let's take a look at him. Look at the face sculpt on him. I'm going to have to bend his knees. This is another one. Kyle Rayner was good and limbered coming out. He stretched before he got out of the box. He was good to go, but Batman and Deathstorm didn't. Look at the face sculpt on him. Very cool looking face sculpt. That's the best part of this figure is the head sculpt. But then again, his arms and everything, his shoulders, I got a little more range of motion out of him than I was able to Green Lantern or Deathstorm. Same thing in the elbows. They're good. They flex good there as far as opposability with his hands. And again, the wrist, he can turn his hands all the way around there if you want to. I don't know why you want to have them upside down, but hey, if you're into that, you can do that. Torso bending. Let's straighten his legs out here. Torso bending is actually about the same range of motion you have with Green Lantern. Not much exposure as far as being able to see the gaps in here for any kind of toy photography you might want to do. And then you have very good up and down head motion with this Batman figure. And his head will do the Atrocitus spin. His knees, same way. They are double jointed, same as Green Lantern's. Not as stiff as Necrum's, but his is still pretty stiff. As far as your foot, you got the same articulation there in the ankle where it goes back and forth. And then you got the toe articulation on both legs there as well. One thing I forgot to do with Deathstorm, because I'm still learning about these reviews, how to do them, standability. So let's see how good Batman stands, and then we'll look at Deathstorm. With the cape on the back, I'm assuming he's going to have a little more problem. Oh, there, got him. Let's see if I can get him to look at the actual camera now, because I'm forgetting where the camera's at. Ah, look there, he stands up. Let's see if him and Deathstorm can do a selfie here together. Come on, Deathstorm. Oh, come on, bend that leg back a little more. Get him to stand up. Come on, buddy. Stand up. Stand. All right, we may have to. There we go. There, look there. They could be brothers. But yeah, Deathstorm stands up too. It took a little bit of work. Green Lantern so far, he stood up the best. Batman, I don't know the storyline, but he doesn't come with any kind of a lantern, so I'm guessing he didn't use one in that. But he does have the cool little insignias there, and the little design that kind of matches what's on Deathstorm. And let's take a look at Batman's card. Oh, I forgot to show what it looks like. You know, the back of him is just the cape. And then you lift the cape up, and you got the zombie Batman butt. Now this card looks great, and I'm a little bit sad because getting it out of the plastic there, it's got a little bit of a bend on the corner, but nothing too bad. But look at that. That card looks awesome. Let's take a look at the back. You got your data file. All right, this is running a little bit longer than a minute too, but hey, I am looking at 4 figures here. But this, in my opinion, Superman is the best out of this figure series. I mean, I like the silver and black costume is just awesome, but the details on the head sculpt of this figure is great. I mean, even the teeth, I mean, looking and seeing the lines and the yellow, and I'm going to get it closer to the camera there in a second. It's kind of giving an overview now. But this figure was the best, again, of the series. Knee joints were good and limber, getting them out of the box. Let's get his face sculpt up there a little bit closer. But look at that. I mean, look at the nose there. It looks like the skeleton nose. The burning around the eye sockets. To me, that is just a coup de grace with this figure, where he's used his heat vision. He's a zombie fighter or whatever, so he's burnt his eye sockets. And then the mouth, the detail there, the yellowing of the teeth. I mean, this just looks great. You know, he's still got, even though he is a zombie, look at that hairline. Look at that. Beautiful. Not a hair out of place. I'm looking at his skin there. You know, it looks, zombified. It looks, you see all the striations and stuff in it and all the details. If I can get it turned around here. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks like zombie flesh if you watch The Walking Dead or any zombie movies pretty much. His head will do the 360. You know, they are undead, so I guess you want to do that. And he got good maneuverability in his head. I mean, he's about like Green Lantern. He'll move around actually a bit better than Green Lantern's. Doesn't feel as loose. The wrist, turn any way you want to turn the wrist. Again, you got double jointed elbows, so you can make him do all kinds of cool poses. Let's see right there. Good flying pose, except for his legs. Torso, again, you don't have as much range of motion in the torso. Batman and Green Lantern had the best torso. He's about the same as Deathstorm. I didn't do the splits with the others. I don't know why you want to do splits with them, but like I said, he'll go about to there before he starts to get a little tension on that. And then his knees. That one's limbered up pretty good. This one here, I'm going to have to work with it a little bit more. It's still a little bit stiff. And the feet are the same. You got the toe articulation where the toe bends all the way up. And then you got his ankle here, which turns any way pretty much you want it to. So let's see, and look at the cape. You got the tattered cape, and then I like it's silver on the inside. And there's the back of him. The dead buns of steel. Let's get him up here now and see how he stands up. Ah, pretty good. Let's get him over here towards the camera. Oh, I messed him up. I should have put him towards the camera to start with. He stands fairly easily. Like I said, we're good to go on that. But that is our... Oh, nope, I forgot the card. And there is your trading card for Superman. And again, a very cool looking card. Look at that. Oh, that is awesome. And then there's your data file and everything on the back. All right, that is the main 4 figures of this wave. The Blackest Night, again, my favorite, Superman. My second rank, Batman. Third rank, Deathstorm. And the one I do like, but I guess the least out of the 4, Green Lantern Kyle Rayner. But let's get the pieces of Atrocitus up here, get him put together, and let's take a look at him. All right, everybody, here you have him, Atrocitus. He is assembled. As far as the build process, let's talk about that first. This was a very easy figure to put together. Honestly, sometimes with McFarlane's, especially ones that have the bigger legs like this guy's got some serious quads. They can be a little aggravating to get into the hip sockets. This one was not. This one was very easy. Everything on this figure, the arms, the head, everything went on super easy. Really easy to put together. The only thing I will say about the build quality and the only aggravating part was his shoulder pads here, and I'll show you why. If you look here at the pads, you've just got small little tabs here on the inside. If I can get this folded out, you can see those there. Those plug into the little slots here on his traps, and it's just not that secure. I mean, if you're trying to do some things, moving his arms up and around and things like that, this would pop off and be probably pretty annoying. Honestly, I'm thinking about using a little Gorilla Glue on those things and putting them in there. But as far as the figure, I mean, this thing's great. Very textured outfit on there, very good detail. Look at the face sculpt. I mean, that is the best part. The head sculpt on this thing is just amazing. You can see there the back, and you can see on his regular body, the outfit's got the texture there. You can really see it better there with the camera zoomed in. And then we'll go on down to the bottom of his feet, and then we'll turn him around, and we'll shoot him from behind. As far as the height of this thing, I really got to get a measuring tape in here or something on these when I do these figure reviews. I would say he's probably a good 10 inches, probably about the same size. I'd say Solomon Grundy's close. I should have went and got Grundy for a size comparison, but we'll lay him down here and we'll get one of the regular figures and put beside of him. We'll get Green Lantern. Now, Green Lantern's a standard 7-inch McFarlane, so we'll put him here, get their feet lined up. And you can kind of see there how they compare. Green Lantern's head is almost at the pivot point here on his bicep. So holding him up here to the side, Green Lantern's head will be about right here. And, it's kind of hard to tell there where I've got it comes to about the insignia there on his chest. So, good size figure. As far as this figure wave on the whole, would I recommend getting it? If you're a fan of the Blackest Night storyline, I'm sure you would love it. You love this figure series, I'd recommend getting it. And if you're like me, I just wanted to build a figure. I would try to find it on sale. Again, so I found it on clearance at Walmart and picked it up, and I'm very pleased with it. I mean, this build-a-figure here is awesome. I look forward to getting this into my collection and posing it with some of the other figures that I've got. So like I said, it's up to you. It's everybody's personal choice. As far as the quality of the figures, the face sculpts and everything, they look great, like most McFarlane's do. The Build-A-Figure here is just awesome. This seals it for me as far as being happy with my investment. But range of motion and stuff with this guy, I mean, his head will turn all the way around. You've got a little bit of yes nodding there that they'll do. But the shoulder pads kind of limit him here and the way you can turn the head before you start getting into them. Same thing with his shoulder joints. I mean, you can take them out to about there before it starts to hit these and pull them loose. Even if I glue these things, that's not going to improve. I'll be able to put a little more stress on them, but not a whole lot. He does have pivots here at the bicep, so you can turn his arms to the side or turn him back around, turn him in a little bit, whichever way you want to do. His elbows, again, double jointed elbows. You can fold his hand all the way in, and he can almost put his chin on his fist there and sit down and pout a little bit or think about things. Both elbows, of course, double jointed. You got pretty good motion here in the torso, trying to get away. You can see there, he can look down. If he's staring down at a superhero trying to look imposing, he can do that. And then if Superman's flying in, he can lean back pretty good there and see him coming. The legs, as far as him doing any kind of splits, I mean, you can get the figure about to there. I mean, I don't know why you want to split them apart too much unless you're doing some epic battle poses. But the legs, there's no twist or anything in the legs. The hips, of course, will turn. You can pivot the leg a little bit like that. The knees, you got the regular jointed knees here for the big figures. They'll go about like that. His feet, he's got good articulation there in his ankle. As far as you got a little bit of roll with it side to side, not very much, just the tiniest bit. And of course the toes, like regular McFarlane figures, you got the fully movable toes. Let's see for a big guy how good he stands up, and let's get him in a just a awesome looking pose here. There we go. Let's see how he stands. Oh, look at that, he stands pretty good. Again, put him looking at the camera. So like I said, he stood up pretty good, and kind of sturdy. I'm not hitting him hard, but I'm nudging him enough to knock him over. He's wobbling around there pretty good. So that's pretty cool. Most of the time these bigger figures, especially, he has a lot of mass up top, from his, I guess, breastplate up here all the way to the head. I mean, he's got some thick arms and stuff on him, but luckily, he's got big feet, so that's going to help balance him out a little bit. But again, I hope you all enjoyed the video. These figure reviews I'm trying to get a little better with. I enjoy doing these things, so I'll keep putting them out. But any suggestions you have, be sure to leave them. Any thoughts on this figure wave if you've got it? What did you think about it? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? Anybody that watches the video, tell me, what's your favorite Build-A-Figure from McFarlane or Marvel Legends or anything? What do you enjoy about these? Like I said, this one, the details and the head sculpt, this guy's awesome. If you are a first-time viewer to my channel, or you are a returning viewer who has yet to commit to clicking that subscribe button, I would ask you to consider it. Give me a chance, see what other kind of content comes out. We're having a lot of fun here on YouTube, and we're going to keep it going. But guys, until next time, I'll try to be back later this week with another toy hunt, but I appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys next time. Subscribe. Subscribe.